We got new events coming up, new mechanics like tools and new status ailments, new info on the mini set that I just found out, and also the top performing tournament decks. We got a lot to go through. Welcome to the latest episode of the Pocket Pod. I'm joined by my co-host Willow. Let's jump into it. All right, so we've got a lot of events coming up here. We got the Black Friday Gold event, the Magikarp and Gyarados event, and the Fire Pokemon Mass Outbreak event. And we're going to talk about what we do know about those. You can go to this website. I'll link it in the description, and it shows you a nice little schedule. These are starting on the 21st at 10 p.m. for me, but for a lot of people, they're starting on the 22nd. But yeah, let's go ahead and maybe talk about the most boring one, I think, the Black Friday Gold event. Have you heard about this, Willow?
No, I don't know the details. Do we know the details, or we just know it's a gold event?
It's just a gold event. I think it's literally just limited time discounts on Pokegold, on potentially exclusive items, premium pass options, and rare cards. I guess if you're planning on spending money on this game, maybe wait. We don't really know what the sales are going to be or anything like that, but all we know is it's seeming like there's a gold event. It might just be like 10% off gold or whatever, but I mean, it adds up. So maybe wait. That's it.
Yeah, I think the both of us spent quite a bit of money during the soft launch. I think we would have appreciated a 10% discount. So if you're just jumping into the game since launch and you intend to spend money, this is probably the time to do it. Well, not right now, but on the 22nd.
Yeah, 22nd, and then this runs until December 2nd, 6 a.m. UTC.
If you think you're going to spend money on the upcoming mini set, you might want to spend that money now and sit on the gold, so that you have that kind of discounted gold ready to go for the mini set rather than spending that money when the mini set drops in December.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, just stock up on your gold now. We don't know if we'll get another sale. It's not been data mined, I don't think.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Everything that we know of should be on this schedule that we're looking at.
Yeah, and then jumping up to this Magikarp Gyarados event, much more exciting than just discounted gold, but we also don't know too much about it. It's just looking like the Chansey Meowth thing. I think it's going to be kind of the same thing, except instead of Chansey Meowth, it's Magikarp Gyarados. Although with Chansey Meowth, we saw some cool-looking promo cards, and here we've not seen those data mined. So maybe they just haven't been data mined, or maybe you just don't get those. Maybe there's no cool variant.
Yeah, I think it might just be a version of that Chansey Meowth event, but without promos. It's just like the versions of the cards that are in, that are already in Genetic Apex. So take that for what it is. It's kind of unfortunate for those of us who've been playing the game for a while, but yeah, it is what it is, I guess.
I guess if you haven't gotten Gyarados yet, and for some reason you want to play a Gyarados deck, now you can get some Gyarados. Highly accessible, hopefully. But this is also happening the same time as the Arcanine Mass Outbreak event. So maybe this somehow ties into that. We're going to have multiple events going on at the same time here. This is looking like another sort of pick event where you can pick fire. If you're an audio listener, you can't see, but it looks very similar to the Chansey thing, where you had 3 Chanseys and 2 Meowths to choose from in the Wonder Pick. Here it's looking like Arcanine, Moltres normal, Charizard normal. I think that's Ninetales and also Charmeleon.
Yep.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, if you're like trying to build out your collection, I would say only 3 of the cards here are playable. So like you're gonna probably feel bad when it hits Moltres. Probably gonna feel bad when it hits Charizard, baby. But it is what it is.
The Arcanine seeing a resurgence, actually. So Arcanine EX is not bad, and Ninetales is pretty good. But yeah, I've never seen anyone play normal Moltres, mostly because it sucks. But obviously, maybe you're missing Charmeleons. Maybe you have 2 EX Charizards and you just miss your Charmeleons. I mean, that happened to me with Blastoise. I couldn't pull the War Turtles, so that could be nice for people. Yeah. But other than that, I feel like that's actually not too much more to the event than that.
Yeah, the data mine description of this seemed more exciting to me, where it was like you can pull. It made it sound like basically the way the data mine version was described is it was like a chance to get rarer fire cards, which this is, but the description sounded more exciting than what it looks like we're getting.
Yeah. I think we were spoiled by the Lapras event with so much new stuff. I felt like we had so much to play with. But yeah, there's not too much new stuff going on here. There's some missions where you can get some hourglasses and some event shop tickets where you just collect fire cards. So that'll be relatively easy to do. Yeah, not too much new stuff here. I am looking forward to the new Jigglypuff, which will probably be in a promo pack, just like the Lapras. But I don't think that's expected to be on the 22nd here. I think that'll be on the 28th, I think.
Yeah, that'll probably be the Venusaur drop event, which is on the 28th.
Yeah.
In fact, it is. We can see the contents of that event. It's also a new Haunter as well.
Yeah, so maybe, you know what? Maybe we just talk about this Venusaur drop event. This is not happening on the 22nd. So this is on the 28th, but this will be the promo pack where you have a chance to get Venusaur, a really nice art of Venusaur. Unfortunately, it's not the EX Venusaur. But then we also have Greninja, Haunter, Onix, and Jigglypuff. The new cards here being Haunter and Jigglypuff. I think Haunter is worse than the current Haunter, but Jigglypuff I think is way better than the current Jigglypuff.
Yeah, I mean, this Jigglypuff is so much better in every way, I think. And then also, it might just be an interesting piece of utility outside of decks that contain Wigglytuff. Like, it just might be the case that you see one of Jigglypuff in certain decks, which is pretty fun.
Yeah, not too much health, but the scene could be really frustrating. Only a 1-cost retreat as well, so might be fun to just tack in instead of like people running Farfetch'd or King. Might be a consideration, or it might end up just being you always fail your coin flips and you take it out. But yeah, I think Haunter's not going to be too good. I think the other Haunter's better. I think you want like a healthy Haunter. That 10 HP could really matter. And surprise attack, another like coin-based thing. I suck at flipping heads, even though I like the Jigglypuff, which is kind of the same thing. It's just because current Jigglypuff is so bad at 60 HP, and then you need 2 energy per pound. So, yeah. The Venusaur looks great, but does nothing. You're not going to use this. I mean, you'll look at it. You'll maybe put it in a little one of those display things, but that's about it. And then Greninja's great, man. I love Greninja. Nothing's different, but it's cool art. And maybe, I do think Greninja's kind of hard to pull. I know when I first started playing, I think I actually crafted a Greninja, just couldn't pull it. So for new players, I think it'll be nice to be able to mess around with Greninja and have that access to be able to play it quite easily.
Yeah, it's like a cheeky way of getting a rare card that you might not be able to access through packs manually.
Yeah, and looks like we could see the odds of getting things. Greninja's going to be the one of the lowest, second to lowest, at a 16% chance of opening that Greninja. Venusaur being a 12.6% chance, and then everything else has 23.84. And then yeah, on these events, it's seeming like if you do expert, you get 100% chance. Also, you do not burn one of your stamina if you fail. So I don't know, when I was editing, I was just letting this auto compete and it would like win 50% of the time, or like
auto, the same thing.
Just auto battle like while I'm editing, just make sure I'm using all my stamina. And it's fun. It's fun to open the packs. I know it can be frustrating. I think a lot of people were doing the Lapras event and took them like over 50 packs to get the Lapras. Hopefully, I mean, the rare card here is Venusaur. Like, it looks cool, but it kind of sucks. So,
yeah, I will say. Oh, how did you go during the Lapras event? Did you get everything you wanted?
I did, and more. I got a lot. Okay. I got a lot of everything. It took me a while.
I didn't quite get everything I wanted.
Really?
I wanted 2 copies of everything.
Uh-huh.
I ended up with like 9 Laprases.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's cool. I had like 15 Pikachus, but I only got 1 Clefairy. I wanted that second Clefairy, man. I just couldn't get it.
Yeah, that sucks. Well, Clefairy's not that good, but maybe they'll do a Clefable EX or something, and then you'll be sad.
Yeah, I just wanted 2 of everything.
Yeah.
Like, right now, it's the only card in my collection I don't own 2 of. And it's just, well, I guess that and the Season Pass Pikachu, which you can only get 1 of, and then Mew, which you can only get 1 of. But like, of the cards that you can get 2 copies of, it's the only card that I don't have 2 copies of.
Yeah, I mean, I am really hoping that these are available again in the future, maybe in the mini set or maybe in set 2, or maybe they just redo this event or something. Because for people who didn't get like Lapras, or more importantly, Mankey, People didn't get promo Mankey. That is such a good card. Like, Primeape is so much
Are you
better with
still high
Mankey.
on Mankey?
I think Mankey's good, and it's a good card. And if you're playing like an aggro deck, yeah, going second with a Mankey into a Primeape is solid. It's not like a tournament winning deck or anything like that, but you don't want to play the normal Mankey.
I've got a video coming up comparing Lapras and Mankey, and I'm much lower on Mankey than I was a week ago. I don't think it's very good.
I think it's better than the normal Mankey, and I feel like people don't want to play Primeape with that Mankey. So I think as like a returning player, or if you're like a brand new player like Dara JN, then you can't get Mankey. So that kind of is unfortunate, because then you can't experiment with Primeape as well. I mean, you can, but it's going to be way worse.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and then a lot of people are probably bummed they didn't get Lapras. Well, that sucks, but also the card sucks. So there's that. But that's why I feel bad about Mankey and people miss out. Like, imagine if this is limited time that you can get this Jigglypuff promo with the Sing, and it ends up being like a meta-defining card, and you only have 1 week to get it, and all these people just didn't get it, or they start the game late, or they didn't realize the event was going on, or something like that. It's gonna be really grim. So
agreed.
Yeah, they better make it available. But another thing we wanted to talk about was new stuff coming to the game. We know these stuff are confirmed. We don't know when they're coming, but we do know that they are coming, because when you hit search, you can see that there is, where is it? Pokemon Tool.
Pokemon Tools.
Pokemon Tool. Yeah, so you know it's like it's in the game, but if you do this and you search, there's no cards yet.
Yeah. I pointed this out in the video recently, and people also were asking for like stadiums and stuff from the original trading card game. One thing at a time, guys. We know Pokemon Tools are on the way, as we can clearly see, right? They wouldn't have that filter option if... I assume this is relatively soon as well. It wouldn't surprise me if the first tool, or the first couple tools we get, are in the December mini set.
Ooh, that
just
would be
because
awesome.
it's baked into the search feature.
Yeah, I think that'd be awesome. I haven't played too much physical Pokemon. I say too much. I haven't played it. I mean, I've looked at the cards and stuff, and I do see tools, and I feel like it really adds a layer of strategy to the game. I know right now it's very bare bones, and a lot of people think it's like too basic, too casual. It's going to ramp in difficulty as we add tools, as we add stadiums, as we add more statuses, more EX Pokemon, hopefully Pokemon with like multiple ability choices. I mean, we have that with like Mewtwo having 2 options or whatever. But a lot of Pokemon just have one attack to choose from, and it's going to be nice to add on to that. And then for stadiums, you do kind of see like a nice little spot on the board where they could easily implement it. But yeah, I feel like that'll be down the line. I was saying today in my stream, I don't want them to pull out all the stops just yet. I want a nice little trickle. Like, yeah, maybe they add tools. And then next they just add Gen 2. And then the next set, they add some more tools. And then the next set, maybe they add stadiums. Like, they don't got to add everything right now. I like a slow drip of constant content, personally. Maybe that's a hot take.
I don't want them to dump everything. I want them to kind of, you know, let's say they've got like 100 cool things planned. I don't want them to give us like 50 of those things as quickly as possible. You know, I want those 100 things to be spread out as much as possible, or else it's going to feel like there's nothing to look forward to, you know?
Yeah. But tools. Do you know anything else about tools? Have you looked into tools?
No, not really. What I know about tools is that generally, from what I understand, they fill in. They're really good at providing support to archetypes that don't quite get there. So, like, as an example, some of the tools that I've seen are things like give a non-EX Pokemon plus X amount of health, right? Obviously, the values would be different in Pocket because the values are so much higher in the physical card game. But you could imagine a card right now easily slotting into a deck if it read something like give a non-EX Pokemon plus 30 or plus 20 health. Stuff like that I think is really good for the game. Another item that seemed interesting to me from the physical card game, I think is called Rocky Helmet, and it's like when you receive damage, you deal 20 damage back. There's stuff like that.
It's like Poliwrath.
To fill in. Yeah, it's like Poliwrath, but if you could put that on a Venusaur, that would be a lot better than having a Poliwrath in play.
Yeah, that'd be wild. That'd be so good.
Yeah.
Or Melmetal or something, yeah.
Yeah, Melmetal. That's another good one.
Yeah. And then we also know of some other statuses coming, right? Where can we search that here?
Yeah, no, you can't search it here. If you go back into the main menu, you'll see the little burger icon. Actually, you can do it from here. The burger icon in the bottom right. The little...
Oh, this burger?
There you go. And then you go, I think it's tips.
Loading. What is it loading?
There's no way tips is taking this long to load. What did you do? Is your internet down? Are you okay?
Let me try again. Okay, tips. All right, here we go.
Tips. And then it's all the way at the bottom when this loads, you know?
Okay, here we go.
And then we go to About Battle Rules. And then we go to... nope. Oh, yeah. Pokemon Checkup and Special Conditions. And if we scroll down here, we'll see...
Burned. Right here, burned.
Yep. Yeah, but there's a description of exactly what Burn does. Yeah, they
burned. Burned Pokemon take 20 damage during each Pokemon checkup. The player whose Pokemon is burned flips a coin during each Pokemon checkup, and if heads, the Pokemon recovers from being burned. If tails, Pokemon stays burned. Burned can stack with other special conditions. Oh, wow, that's good. That's really good.
I'm pretty excited about Burned. I'm really curious to see if you take the damage first or if you flip the coin first. I asked about that in my video and someone got back to me and they were like, oh, it's funny that you asked that question because it's been both ways in the trading card game. They changed the rules at some point. Originally, you would just take 20 damage and then flip the coin, but now you flip the coin and then take the damage. So you have like a chance to cleanse the burn before you take any amount of damage from it. So I'm curious how it will work in Pocket, because they've had it both ways.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it'd be OP if you didn't get to flip the coin first. 20 damage, that's twice as much as poison. So that's... Yeah. I mean, that'd be really good. I mean, maybe...
I'm looking forward to Burn. I'm curious because right now all of the fire Pokemon are all like huge burst damage Pokemon. So if they have plans to add Burn, it sounds like a whole new archetype for fire Pokemon where because fire Pokemon right now, they wouldn't want to be bothered burning people, right? They would rather one-shot everyone, you know? So
yeah.
Having access to like what would essentially be a whole new archetype for fire sounds fun.
Yeah, that would be really cool. Yeah, there's just so much coming for this game, and I'm just very excited about all of it. This is quite hidden.
There's also confusion as well.
Yeah.
If you
confused.
When confused.
Yeah, when confused Pokemon attack, the owner must flip a coin. If heads, the attack works normally, but if tails, the attack doesn't happen, and the player's turn ends. So basically, it's kind of similar to like Sleep, in a way.
Yeah,
right?
It's similar to Sleep, but you have the agency of being able to retreat out of it.
Oh, true.
Which you wouldn't be able to with a Sleep. With Sleep, you literally can't do anything. Confuse is specifically tied to attacks. The one cool thing about Confuse is it's kind of like a permanent sleep with more agency. So like if the opponent attacks and they successfully go through, they're not getting rid of the confusion. They'll have to deal with the confusion next turn as well.
Oh.
But they do have that agency of like retreating in and out.
Yeah, so it's 6 the whole time. That's wild. Yeah, it doesn't remove it if you flip heads.
Yeah.
That's huge. Yeah, you have to evolve to get rid of it, or you have to retreat it to your bench in order to get rid of it. That's pretty cool. Oh, that's better than I thought. Yeah.
Or they could print a tool that says this Pokemon cannot be affected by status conditions. Oh my god, it all comes around.
Yeah, that would be cool as well. Or like a new item, I guess, like an antidote sort of thing. I don't know what cures confusion, but that's cool. What the heck? Yeah, lots of cool things coming.
Yeah, I assume all of the mechanics we just talked about will be covered either in the mini set or in set 2, which we know is coming in January, or some combination of all of those things. Half of it might be in the mini set, the other half might be in set 2. But yeah, very cool. I'm excited to see more and more of those cards, and it sounds like we're getting a lot of cool new archetypes already, which is exciting stuff. I'm clamoring at the bit for December's mini set.
Yeah.
I'm ready for it now.
I think a lot of people are ready for it at this point. It does feel kind of far away. I mean, you and I have been playing the game for like 8 weeks now, maybe 7 or 8 weeks.
Yep.
So I'm
I do feel bad for the new players who obviously don't have their collection complete, and then there's all of us here who have been hanging out in New Zealand for a while, we're basically begging and pleading for new cards, and then all these new players are just like, man, I don't even have my, my Venusaur yet, or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, desperate for new cards right now.
Yep, me too. Really quickly, I wanted to jump through some of these tournament decks, just speed through them because I thought there were some cool decks and maybe people are wanting to participate in some tournaments. I wanted to first show this Mewtwo deck. It's basically the normal Mewtwo line. You are running 2 Ralts, 2 Kirlias, 2 Gardevoirs, 2 Mewtwo EXs, 2 Potions, 2 X-Speeds, 2 Pokeballs, 1 red card. That's kind of like a tournament thing, I think. I guess you could play it on ladder. You got 2 Professor's Research, 1 Giovanni,
kind of guy.
And 1 Sabrina. Even when you're playing like ladder non-tournament.
Yeah, I play 1 red card in almost everything. I'm a huge red card fan.
Oh, well, not me. Last card here I didn't mention yet is Mewtwo. We're running a normal baby Mewtwo, basic, non-EX. So 2 EXs, 1 non-EX. This thing it's healthy, 120 HP, and only a 2 cost retreat. So I think this thing's mostly used to kind of be like a tank.
Yeah, that's from my understanding. It's basically to improve the Pikachu matchup because Pikachu is typically quite strong against Mewtwo. Mewtwo's biggest weakness is aggression. So having something like Baby Mewtwo, which can just sit in the active for you, is pretty good. And it happens to also be able to one-shot Pikachu itself. So in scenarios where he's not acting as a wall, you can just charge him up and can just use him to one-shot basically all the... Well, no, not basically. Actually, all of the Pokemon in the Pikachu EX deck, with the exception of Zapdos, which you can correct for with Giovanni.
Yeah, we are running that 1 Giovanni. So this is, it's the classic Mewtwo. You're running Gardevoir. You're juicing up your Mewtwo. If you find your Gardevoir quickly, that's great. Mewtwo can carry otherwise 50 damage with just 2 energy, and 150 HP can go a long way.
Yeah, 100%. Here's how you know this is good. I think it's the best version of Mewtwo, and I was so high on 1 Ralts, 2 Mewtwo being the optimal Mewtwo list. But I have gone back on that. I now run this version, double Ralts, 3 Mewtwo. I do think that this is the best Mewtwo list right now. Personally, I like 2 Sabrina. But
what would you drop for an extra Sabrina?
In a ladder context, probably red card. In a tournament format, I would have to think a bit more about it before I give like a confident answer.
Yeah.
Maybe 1 potion. I'm not sure.
Yeah, probably a potion. But yeah, the Mewtwo's great. If you get Sabrina, you just pull out the Sabrina. Or sorry, you pull out the other Mewtwo. That's kind of nice. And then it could tank a hit, and then you could swap it back out because it's just a 2 cost retreat, and you got X speeds. So pretty nice. I wanted to jump into the next deck, which there are multiple versions of this. I think this one's the best one. This is a tournament Pikachu deck. It is running Raichu. People still run the Voltorb version. I'm not 100% sure what's better. They both win tournaments. They both have great placements. But this one is running 2 normal Pikachu, 2 Pikachu EX, 2 Raichu, 2 Zapdos EX, and then also 1 Pin Urchin. The Pin Urchin's kind of a flex. You don't really need the Pin Urchin. Sometimes it just sits on the bench, but sometimes you just really need to bank on that Thunder Shock and like some RNG and flipping that Paralyze. I've played this for like 5 games. I think I won them all, and I felt like I was cheating, and I didn't even use Pin Urchin. It's been nice being able to use Raichu. I never really used Raichu in the past, aside from with Magneton. I really like the Magneton Surge Raichus, but here we're just running 1 copy of Surge, and you can basically have Raichu built up on your bench. You built up your Pikachu, all your excess energy either goes into Raichu or Zapdos, and then if need be, you see a big threat, you can X-Speed, pull back your Pikachu, use your Surge, apply it to the Raichu, and like one-shot their things. Like if it's a Mewtwo and it's quite healthy, maybe you got like a Peck in, or you got the 1 Pikachu hit in, then you pull it back and you one-shot it with the Raichu. For audio listeners, we're also running 1 Potion, 2 X-Speeds, 2 Pokeballs, 2 Professor's Research, 2 Sabrinas, 1 Lieutenant Surge, and 1 Giovanni. And have you played this one?
Yeah, I have. I do personally. I think the difference between the Voltorb version and the Raichu version is consistency versus ceiling. I think that this version with Raichu has a higher ceiling. Like, it can do more exciting things. It can do more flashy things. But I do think the Voltorb version's a bit more consistent. So I've played this less than the Voltorb version. I'm a huge fan of one Pinkerchin in these lists, though. Also, you pronounced it Pin Urchin. Who's correct? Is it Pin Urchin or is it Pinkerchin? Because it's got a C in it.
It's Pinkerchin. It's Pinkerchin.
All right, good.
No, you're right. It's not.
Okay.
There's no debate here.
I was just making sure. Okay, I was just making sure.
I say a lot of the names wrong. Like I say Zapdos, just because when I was a kid, I'd always say Zapdos. But now I'm trying to say Zapdos. I'm trying to get better, you know?
On like day one of Pokemon Pocket, I had a lot of people like correcting my pronunciation. I'm like, why do you care that much? And then I hear people say things like Zapdos, and I'm like, okay, don't worry, I do care. It's not Zapdos. What the heck?
Yeah, as long as you don't say Pidgeot instead of Pidgeot, like I'm fine. The last deck I want to jump into here is one that's seeing a resurgence. I don't know if this is necessarily the third best, but I'm seeing it perform well. And it's maybe more of a budget option for some people, except for maybe the Moltres. Is this Arcanine deck? Charizard also places well, and that might be taking the cake over this one. But I thought this one is maybe a little bit more exciting, even though not really anymore. But we're running two Arcanine EX lines with the two Growliths, two Moltres. That's it. It's almost like 18 trainer, except it's not.
Yeah, it's got similar
14.
vibes to the. It's got similar vibes to the Starmie Articuno deck.
Yeah,
where it's just like, one big EX Pokemon and another big EX Pokemon.
Yeah, and then we're also running two potions, two X speeds, two Pokeballs, two Professor's Research, two Giovanni's, two Sabrinas, one red card, which is kind of a tournament thing, and also one old Amber is what I saw on the top performing tournament deck that I found. I don't really like the Ambers that much, but I mean, when you're running this many cards, it's like, what else do you put it? You could put in another red card, maybe. Like, the old Amber might not be the worst.
Personally, I think all of the fossil stuff is super cope. But I see a lot of people running it, so there's something to it, I guess.
It's hard to knock it if it performed well in a tournament. I mean, I didn't watch the matches. Maybe the fossil didn't do anything, but if you want to try the fossil tech, you can go for it. If you get Sabrina, you can throw out the fossil. They get a free prize point. Or maybe they KO a Pokemon and you put out the fossil and then you like delete the fossil so you can see your drawn card and decide what Pokemon you want to put out front. So there's some reasons to play it, but it's a little bit awkward, I think. But yeah, between this and Charizard, not sure what's better. I think Arcanine is doing well in like the current tournament scene because you can get online and maybe shred a Mewtwo real quick. It also one-shots Pikachu. It can one-shot anything in the Pikachu deck except for Zapdos, of course. But then we have two Giovannis to kind of clean up. And then if one of your Arcanine goes down, then you just bring out your other Arcanine. And then if it's low, you can swap to the Moltres, hit him with the Heat Blast. And yeah, I don't know. It felt consistent to me, but I think you said you hate it.
Well, I don't know if I'd use the word hate, but man, when I use this list, I'm just every single time I have an Arcanine in play, I'm just like, I wish this was a Charizard, but yeah. I don't know. There is definitely something to the fact that the Arcanine gets online faster, and there's something to the fact that it does one-shot basically everything in the Pikachu list. So, yeah. Basically, I don't have enough play time to be, like, super, what's the word I'm looking for? I'll use the word confident, because I can't find the word I'm actually looking for. Yeah, basically, I don't have a lot of conviction when I say that I think that Arcanine is the worst version, but, yeah. It's just... Oh man, it is so nice that it one-shots Pikachu, but it's got 130 health effectively, which leaves it vulnerable to a lot. It can't swing and kill multiple things without getting into dangerous territory. Like if a Pikachu hits this once, we're now working with 40 health. You're telling me they can't put out 40 worth of damage? I mean, it's kind of scary.
I think it is like a pocket meta sort of, no pun intended, pocket meta sort of choice. I think we talked about it last time when we were doing the tier list as well. It's like, if you're seeing a lot of Starmies out there, like they can shred your Arcanine relatively quickly, and they take the hit as well. So that might be a little bit different. But yeah, in the current tournament scene where you're seeing a lot of Pikachus, pretty good.
I will say that the Charizard list has like a decent amount of room. Like the Charizard list doesn't need to run. I mean, Arcanine wants to run Giovanni, but Charizard doesn't. And there's like a lot of room in that list. So maybe there's a world where you just run like a normal Charizard list and you just find room for 3 cards, and those 3 cards are double Growlithe, single Growlithe, double Arcanine, and it's just sometimes you pivot into the Arcanine line for specifically the Pikachu matchup. Maybe that's good. I don't know. I haven't tried it. But I should try it because honestly, it sounds pretty decent.
Yeah, I think the Charizard list is just 2 Charizard lines and 2 Moltres. So I feel like it's a pretty tight list and it's pretty refined, but Charizard is just sometimes inconsistent. I feel like you have to find the stage 2, otherwise you never come online. You don't win. Like if your Charmeleons are in the bottom 5 of your deck, like you lose. But I guess if your Arcanines are also in the bottom of your deck, then you're probably going to lose as well. But yeah, I just wanted to cover those 3 tournament decks really quick if you guys are curious to see more of the top tier stuff that's going on with Pikachu and Mewtwo being leagues ahead of everything. But yeah, also including that Arcanine list.
Man, I'm so excited for us to get like a ranked mode where we can see how these decks perform outside of specifically a tournament, because you and I both know that tournaments are a very, very different environment to what most people are playing in.
Oh yeah.
And I think that'll give a lot of people a much better idea of what high level Pocket looks like when we're playing on like a random ranked ladder. Which surely will come soon, hopefully.
I hope so. It'll be fun. I hope we hear at least like an announcement of it relatively soon. I feel like they haven't been doing too many announcements. They pretty much just confirmed like the mini set. They said extra boosters or whatever, but they didn't really say anything. Like where I want more leaks. Maybe in an upcoming patch we'll get some leaks of the upcoming set. I hope.
Yeah, truth be told, I'm not particularly hopeful for ranked mode. I was hoping that we would get ranked mode before we got any new cards, basically, so that we could experience a ranked mode with just Genetic Apex, but I don't think that's going to happen. Honestly, I'll be surprised if we have ranked mode before set 2. That's my outlook at the moment.
But the emblem event with getting 45 wins, like that was nice. That was fun. It felt a little bit a little bit more sweaty, I guess, if that's what you're into, without being too sweaty. Like you could totally just play some off meta fun stuff, which is kind of what I did, or you could just play the try hard stuff. But it was fun. I enjoyed it. So.
Yeah, I agree. I actually haven't even finished mine yet. I'm at like 35 or something like that.
Oh, you got 10 days. You got plenty of time. And then the next one, when is the next one's coming December 8th for me. Again, you can check that website that I will link below. Yeah, it'll be December 8th. In 20 days is the next one, which will be 10 days after the previous one ends. So.
Yeah, that's not too bad.
Yeah, and then mini set again, December 16th. Mark your calendars. At least that's when it's been data mined for. Who knows if they will change that. So
yeah, I will say there's a small part of me that thinks that maybe we're not even getting that mini set, because in their announcement that you were just speaking about, they said that they mentioned that trading is coming and the new set is coming, and they were talking about that in the context of January, but they didn't mention anything about December. There is potentially room there to say, well, they didn't mention it because they were specifically talking about trading and what was coming along the big trading patch. But it does give me a little bit of anxiety about, maybe the mini set isn't coming. Maybe we're waiting until January. But
yeah, I opened it up here and it looks like the data miners say 76 cards.
Whoa, 76 cards?
I hadn't seen this until right now. Yeah, where are they getting this number from?
Maybe the question mark is because they can see 78 entries or whatever in some piece of the data, and they put the question mark because they're not sure what percentage of those are alternate arts, maybe?
Yeah. But this would be cool. I would love this. If they don't do a mini set, I think the game's going to feel very dry in end of December and all of January.
Yeah, it's gonna feel weird going into January with no new cards outside of like the random stuff like Haunter or whatever.
Yeah, but yeah, I guess that's it. I don't know what else to talk about until next week. So maybe we'll just end here.
Yeah.
Excited for next week, the new event, and say goodbye, Willow.
Bye, everybody.